Hello, welcome to Bart's Gaming Corner. I'm Bart, and we're going to do a Let's Play session of Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition with a particularly large or long intro, especially targeted at newbies. So I will be explaining a lot about this game, how this game works, and what type of class is best to start with. And when I finally have made my character and we're playing the game, especially in the beginning, I will explain as much as I can. And that way, if you're a beginner and you haven't played this game or any AD&D game or D&D game, you will know what to do when you start playing yourself. Now, is this game still worth playing in 2021? In my opinion, it is, but yeah, it has aged a bit. Graphics-wise, even when it came out, the original version came out in 1998, it was a big hit, but graphics-wise, well, your mind wasn't blown even at that time. Now, I don't mind. The graphics have been somewhat improved with the enhanced version, which came out in 2013 by Beamdog. I don't mind. For me, it's always, with games, it's always gameplay and story. And you have games like Stardew Valley or Among Us, which don't look bad in any way, but still the gameplay and the story and how you play the game is much more important, which is why these games are such a big hit, such a great success. Same way with Baldur's Gate. So in that regard, I think that the game is still playable even by people who were born even when after the game came out. Now, there are a couple of things about the game, or there's one important point about the game, which I think has dated a big time, which is the game can be a bit of a grind in certain parts. You have you have many areas you can visit, but only a few areas really contain interesting dungeons, or you have to visit them for the main quest. But there are many other areas which are not necessary for you to finish the game, where there are not many side quests to do to be had, but a lot of lower level enemies who won't give you much XP or particular interesting loot. In Baldur's Gate 2, this problem has been tackled. This is one of the main reasons why I think, while I do love Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2 definitely is the better game. In that regard, yeah, it has dated a bit. So in this playthrough, I don't know if we're gonna explore every nook and cranny of the game, in order not to bore you, but we'll take in a lot of the game world. So, what is there to say about Baldur's Gate? It is the granddaddy of all RPGs, or better yet, of all isometric RPGs. The year before, I think the year before, Fallout came out. Also an important game, in which the graphics, the style, I think, the level of the graphics was about the same. And in 1998, Baldur's Gate came out, and well, the world changed. Since then, you had Baldur's Gate 2, you had Icewind Dale 1 and 2, you have Planescape Torment, which is one of the cult classics. And after that, you had games like Dragon Age Origin, Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin, Pathfinder, you name it. you name it, Wasteland 2 and 3. So there was a slew of very interesting isometric party-based RPGs. And Baldur's Gate has been a big inspiration for almost any adventure game or RPG for the last 20 years. So let's get into it. Oh, new game. First, we pick a gender. This is an aesthetic choice and will not affect your attributes in any fashion. Well, it doesn't matter. Both female and male characters are both as strong or weak as... there's total equality in this game. I will pick a male character. Pick a face. I will be picking a fighter type class. And a bit of a rogue. So yeah, he will do. Race. Race, all right. Human, the standard base class, so to say. Get a sip of water. Humans there are no great advantages or disadvantages of playing a human. You can play almost any class. You can play any class you want, and they will do fine. They are the best at playing Paladins. They are a good race to start with if you're a beginner. Next, Elf. Elves have a couple of really interesting advantages. They have, for instance, a 90% resistance against charm and sleep magics. Which, considering in this game, you will have a lot of enemies who will use charm and sleep spells. This is a pretty nifty ability to have. So while your party is asleep, your elf will still be able to fight. They have infravision, means they can see in the dark, which, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, you can say it in the comments, but in this game is not an advantage at all. At least, I haven't noticed that my character will fight better or worse if they're fighting in the dark. They have a +1 Eco bonus with bows, short swords and long swords. I have to look up what this abbreviation means, but it stands for, but it means your attacking score. The lower, the better. Basically, when you attack someone, you throw a 20-sided dice, and you have to, for instance, throw a 10 or higher. And the lower your Theco bonus is, the better. So a +1 Theco bonus is good. And it's particularly with bows, short swords, and long swords. As now, of course, you can use other weapons, but you won't have this bonus. We have -5% open locks, but +5 pickpockets, +5 move silently, +10% hide in shadows. So, he can be a good thief, but he will need some extra help with open locks. You have a +1 dexterity bonus. Means you're quite dexterous, but a -1 constitution. So meaning elves are good at almost any class as well, but I would refrain from using them as a tank, meaning a fighter will take the brunt of any damage the enemy can do. And they are also reasonably good thieves, and elves are excellent mages. Half-elf. A mix of human and elven blood. They have a bonus against charm and sleep magics as well, but only 30%. Still a nifty amount. Also infravision, and I have a +10 bonus for pickpockets and +5 hide in shadows. So basically meaning they're good at almost any class as well, and a little bit better at being a thief. Dwarf, your basic fighter type. They're short, stocky, easily identifiable by their size and shape. They have a +2 bonus to saving throws versus paralysis, poison, death, versus rod, staff, wand, and versus spell, with additional bonus based on constitution. This is a very interesting advantage for the dwarf, meaning they're better able to resist, for instance, poison. So they have a minimal +2 bonus, and when they have a high constitution as well, this will increase. They do have infravision. They have a +10% open locks, +15% find traps, +5% detect illusion, +10% set traps. And they have a +1 constitution bonus, a -1 dexterity, and a -2 charisma. Disadvantage penalty. Meaning dwarf are excellent fighters, excellent tanks. They can be reasonably good clerics, and they can be thieves as well. I don't think they can be mages. Halfling. Well, your basic hobbit. They're not called hobbits in the Dungeons and Dragons world. They were in the original version in the 70s, but they changed it. I don't know if that's because of copyright, because of a copyright issue, or if they wanted to do that themselves. But they are basically like hobbits. They too have a +2 bonus to saving throws versus paralysis, poison, death, versus rod, staff, wand, and versus spell. And since in this game there will be a lot of enemies who can poison you, and which can be wreak havoc on your party, especially up until you're level 3 or 4. This bonus is, well, you need it sometimes. They too have a +1 Faker bonus with slings, so they're quite good with slings. And they have a +5% open locks, +5% find traps, +5% pickpockets, +10% move silently, +15% hide in shadows. They have +1 dexterity bonus and a -1 strength and a -1 wisdom penalty. Halflings are by default perfect for thief or rogue type class. They're reasonably good fighters. They can be wizards, but they, if you choose them for, they're not perfect for choosing as a cleric, because they have a -1 wisdom penalty. A gnome, cousin of, smaller cousin of the dwarf. They have a +2 bonus to saving throws versus rod, staff, wand, and versus spell, with the additional bonus based on constitution. So a bit like the halfling and the dwarf, but they don't have additional bonus throw against poison and paralysis. But still, they have this bonus. They have infravision, +5% open locks, +10% find traps, +5% move silently, +5% hide in shadows, +10% detect illusion, +5% set traps. And you have a +1 intelligence and -1 wisdom. So This is the perfect mage, a sorcerer. They have the intelligence to fling spells around. They're not very good to use as clerics because of the -1 wisdom penalty. Yeah, you can use them for any other class, but mage, if you want to build a perfect mage, choose a gnome. Half-orc. Half-orcs are born from the union of human and orc parents. They are as tall as humans, but a little heavier due to their muscular builds. In the Sword Coast, half-orcs are tolerated as, unlike in the north, the local people haven't had centuries of warfare with orc-kind. Half-orcs are known for their great strength. Yeah, if you play Icewind Dale, you're dealing with a lot of orcs, especially in Icewind Dale 2, which is in the north. And in the region of Baldur's Gate, they don't have many orcs. So being a half-orc isn't that bad. They have the following traits: Infravision, but this is interesting, a +1 strength bonus, a +1 constitution bonus, and a -2 intelligence penalty. Meaning if you want to build the perfect tank, the perfect fighter, you can't beat a half-orc. Well, we're gonna build a human fighter. So let's go to class. Fighter. Well, your typical warrior. You can use any weapon, and you can specialize in certain types of weapon up until Grand Mastery. You see 5 slots, meaning you every now and then you can invest, get an extra bonus for your weapon class, which will increase your accuracy and your damage. And you also achieve specialization in 2 slots in any fighting style, and allocate 3 slots in 2 weapon style. And you can use 2 weapons at a time, so for instance a longsword and a dagger, or 2 daggers. Hit die 10, meaning you start with 10 hit points at the minimum, and if you have a high constitution, let me think, you will start with about 14 hit points, which in this game is pretty good to have. You will have a couple of subclasses, but I won't be getting into those right now. If you haven't played Baldur's Gate already, I would highly advise you to start with a fighter. Other classes are pretty difficult to get into in this game, mainly because you won't have many skills and many hit points, and almost any enemy can kill you quite fast. Baldur's Gate 2, you can pick almost any class, and that problem won't be such a bother anymore. But in Baldur's Gate 1, yeah, start with a fighter class. Second is Ranger. This is a type I almost never play myself. There are a couple of really interesting ranges in game, as we will see. They can use most weapons, and they may not accept seed specialization, 2 slots, meaning they will not become as good with weapons as a normal fighter, but still get some bonus. And they can use the Charm Animal ability once per day, which will increase after level 1. Additional use every 2 levels thereafter. It's a pretty good ability to have when you're in the wilds and you come across, for instance, a big bear. And we have a big bear as an ally in that area. May use hide in the shadow ability while wearing no armor, leather armor, or studded leather armor. Yeah, you can equip a ranger with heavy armor, but many of its abilities won't work. May cast druidic spells starting at level 8, which won't come into play in this game, but in Baldur's Gate 2 it will. Alignment restricted to good. Hit die 10. This, with a range you also will start with 10 hit points at the minimum. So also a good class to start with if you haven't played this game. Paladin, basically a warrior cleric. Paladin's fighting skills are pretty good, but like the ranger, not as good as the average fighter. But you still can do a lot of damage, and you have a couple of interesting feats or abilities. May use Lay on Hands ability once per day to heal a target per 2 hit points per level of the Paladin. Lay on Hands is a very quick spell. Your clerics can use healing spells, but Lay on Hands is much faster. So this is a pretty excellent skill. May cast Detect Evil once per day per level. I have no use for that at all, both here in Baldur's Gate or in Baldur's Gate 2. What it does, it will do when you're in a particular area and you cast a spell, it will detect what kind of alignment a character has near you, non-playing characters. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. You will find out soon enough if the characters you're dealing with, if they're evil or not, and if you want to do something about it. So, detect evil, I have no use for it in this game. I think in the paper and pen version or the board game, it can be a pretty good ability, but not here. May cast Protection from Evil once per day per level. Yeah, this, especially in the beginning, is a pretty good spell. It will increase the chance of resisting, for instance, spells or attacks for either you or the person you are casting Protection from Evil on. May turn Undead as a cleric to levels lower, starting at level 3. Turning Undead is a feat or an ability which you can use to scare undead. Skeletons, mummies, I don't think there are mummies in this game, ghouls, vampires, etc. At the lower level you can scare them, because skeletons are oblivious to fear spells, but not for turn Undead. And at higher levels you can damage or even kill them at one in a stroke. So if you encounter planning on fighting a lot of undead, this is a pretty good spell. May cast Priest spell starting at level 9. Yeah, that comes later. Receives a +2 bonus to all saving throws. So Paladin is has a better defense against enemy spells, poison, etc. Alignment restricted to lawful good. Yeah. For most paladins, you're either lawful good, and if you're a blackguard, you're an evil paladin, and you're lawful evil. You can't be any other alignment. Hit die, 10 hit points. Cleric, your healer. Clerics are average warriors at best. As you can see, they are restricted to hammers, clubs, flail, maces, quarterstaff, slings. Although there are still some pretty interesting maces and hammers, for instance. But you can only become proficient one slot in any weapon class, may only become proficient one slot in any fighting style. So they can dish out some damage, but they're not as good at it as these three. They have a varied amount of spells, healing spells, which are needed to heal the characters, to heal poison. They have buff spells, which will make your party fight better and defend better. And they have some spells who can be used to hurt and scare enemies. So this is after these three classes. If you're a beginner, this is also a good class to start with. Whethet, well, the forest loving version of the cleric. Also a decent fighter, but not more than that. You're also restricted in what kind of armor and weapons you can use, as you can see here. Scimitar, dagger, club spear, quarterstaff, dart, sling. And you can only become proficient in one slot in any weapon class and fighting class. But you have a lot of druidic spells, like the cleric, healing, damaging the enemy, and buff spells. And at level 7 you may shapeshift into a wolf, black bear or brown bear once per day. Which is pretty fun to do. And then you have here, on the 15th level, 18th level, yeah, that is if you're planning to use the same character all the way up in Baldur's Gate 2, and you have becomes immune to poison, etc. Hit die begin with 8 hit points at the minimum. So this is also a decent class to start with if you're a beginner. Mage, this is your basic spell slinging character. Not great at fighting, as you can see here. Only 4 hit points at the minimum, but you can spells. Now, if you're a complete beginner, I would hesitate at choosing a mage. The simple reason, because of your low hit points, and you won't have many spells at the beginning, you will be a sitting duck up until level 3 about. I played one time with a mage, and I was killed in the second area visited by a low level wolf who killed me with his first attack. And it happened a lot. So I would choose a mage if you're a more experienced player, or in Baldur's Gate 2. Then at higher levels, mages are absolute powerhouses. So there I wouldn't hesitate to fight with play with a mage. Thief, well, your basic sneak character who can open doors, backstab. They're good at fighting. They can backstab, as you can see here, which means they can give a lot more damage. They can open locks, find traps, pickpockets. Pickpockets is not a skill you will be using much in Baldur's Gate or Baldur's Gate 2. Mainly because there's so much treasure to find in other places. I've never needed it. Move silently and 5% hide shadows. Those are excellent skills if you want to explore a dungeon with a lot of enemies without the enemies finding you, and for backstabbing enemies. And you can set snares, which are traps. I haven't used that skill a lot, but for certain bosses, set snare is excellent. You will set a couple of traps and then try to lure the enemy boss to the traps and give them some extra damage. Alignment restricted to any except lawful good. Well, of course they're thieves, so they can't be lawful good. They can be good, neutral good or chaotic good, but not good. And they start with a minimum 6 hit points, so they're less of a glass cannon than mages, but you still have to look out for this character. Bard, a bit the jack of all trades, master of none. I almost never play with a bard in my party in Baldur's Gate 1 or 2. I did in Pathfinder, but there the bard has a lot of buff spells which are excellent for the rest of your party. So you have a couple of buff spells, and you have a couple of mage spells, Maycast arcane spells starting at level 2, pickpockets, which I won't be using, and you have a lot of lore, meaning you can identify treasure, magical weapons, etc. You can identify what they do. Overall, in the starting game, a bard is one of the less used characters or classes in this game. Almost nobody plays with a bard. As a beginner, I would never play with a bard, but if you're a more experienced player, or if you're looking for a fun playthrough, choose a bard. Sorcerer. This is a variation of the Mage. Difference is where a Mage has to buy or find scrolls with spells and learn them. Every time a Sorcerer increases in levels up, he automatically has access to the spells at that level. Still have to sleep to regain your spells, but yeah, that's the main difference. The Sorcerer will automatically have access to spells. Also hit die 4, so not a character you choose if you're a beginner. But still, if you're more experienced, a fun type to play. Monk, a very interesting fighter type. Monks, while you would think they would have, they don't have any magical skills. But the more they level up, the more skilled their attacks become, the more they are able to defend, and the more they are able to defend against magic attacks, as you see here, against plus 3% magic resistance per level. 5th level becomes immune to all diseases and cannot be slowed or hastened. Yeah, this is a very interesting type of class to play, but I wouldn't use this for inexperienced players. Shaman. Yeah, basically a variation on the cleric and druid. A couple of restrictions with regards to weapon. You can only use dagger, club, spear, axe, quarterstaff, dart, sling, and short bow. May only become proficient one slot in any weapon class, meaning you become a decent but not great fighter. You may cast druidic spells. Does not automatically learn all spells of a given level as druids do. Instead, shamans select new spells to learn at each level, which they can cast daily without memorization. Meaning they're a bit like the sorcerer is to a mage, the shaman is to the druid. And they have a couple of spells which are unique for the shaman. They have a pretty decent starting number of hit points, namely 8. They don't have a stronghold. If you are planning to use this character in Baldur's Gate 2 as well, you don't have a stronghold. A stronghold, for instance, if you are a fighter after a certain quest, you become the lord of a big castle. And meaning you get some extra weekly income, and you have some extra quests you have to do. Same goes if you're a thief, then you become the head of the Thieves Guild in the main city there. But this won't happen if you're a Shaman. This class was added in the enhanced version, but they didn't add a special stronghold quest in Baldur's Gate 2 for this character. We're playing with a fighter, and we're going to use a Kenzai. Berserker is a character which can deal a lot of damage. Wizard Slayer is a fighter who's specialized in fighting against wizards and such. Barbarian is also a character which can dish out a lot of damage. Also fun to play if you're a beginner but you want to have some extra abilities. Kenzai, I saw some other playthroughs by other channels. I played with who are playing with the Kenzai. I played with the Kenzai myself in Baldur's Gate 2. And that was a fun but challenging playthrough. So I'll be choosing this one for this playthrough. But if you're a beginner, choose the base fighter. Kenzai is a bit like a samurai. Is a very focused type of warrior. We can't use armor, may not use missile weapons, may not wear gauntlets or braces. Alignment restricted to any non-chaotic. Yeah, meaning if you're chaotic, your mind is a bit of a mess. You're not quite a psychopath, but you can do anything that strikes your mind. And as a Kenzai, you're a more focused type of warrior. So chaotic doesn't belong with this type of character. Alright, alignment. Alignment isn't that important in this game or Baldur's Gate 2 as in other similar RPGs. For instance, in Pathfinder Kingmaker, your alignment plays a big part of who you are and what quests you can do. Here, no, it doesn't matter too much. You really have to follow your own conscience if you play Lawful Good, in playing Lawful Good for the whole of the game. There are, however, a couple of quests dealing mostly with demons, I think, where playing a Lawful Good character will set you back, because the demons will sense you're a Lawful Good character and will refuse to deal with you. I think we're gonna play a true neutral character, basically meaning we'll take any situation and quest we deal with, any situation of quest, we deal with it at that moment on how we see fit, basically. Abilities, well, you can have 18 ability for every character, maximum, and 77 is not bad, but we want to have, well, at least 85. Reroll. One time I was re-rolling for about half an hour before I got the perfect score. So isn't the case here. 3, not bad, but still not enough. 1, 80, 185. That's perfect. Won't be using much charisma. Strength 18. And I have a high dexterity. probably will be needing that to be better at defense. And we may want to multi-class or dual class, because for human you can't multi-class, but we can dual class to thief later on. Intelligence. So, make wisdom. We have some defense against enemy spells and poison. Nah, not poison. I think enemy spells. High constitution for a lot of hit points. High dexterity, so we have a high defense and maybe become a thief later on, and a high strength. Alright. Skills. I think we'll be putting a point in longsword. I'm gonna put a... Yeah, whereas... Gonna put a point here. Gonna put a point in... 2 weapon style. 1 point left. And I'm gonna put it in... longsword. Appearance. Yeah, we will leave it as is. And let's pick a voice.
Death to you all, as it should be. I must rest my eyes a while.
This is one of the original voices from the first edition.
Your life ends here. I alone belong here. I am so very weary. Time for a bit of a rough and tumble. I'll lead 'em well. You got this coming! Nobody else is gonna step up. Why not?
I think this is one of the new voices, because there's some difference in volume level.
Time for a bit of a rough and tumble. You got this coming!
Nice. Scholarly.
Let's give them a right thrash. Well, of course. I am the obvious choice. Get over here. For justice. Ha! Death comes for you. Have at you. I'm an excellent leader. Some of us need our beauty sleep, you know.
Yes, this is the perfect voice for this phase. So let's play with this. Obvious name. Well, very original, but Bard. So we created our first character. We can create the whole party, but I like to find my my party members on the road. That's the fun of this game. You have a couple of quite interesting characters you can add to your party. You can always change it. Like, yeah, let's normal, easy, story mode. Let's pick normal first.
Nestled atop the cliffs that rise from the Sword Coast, the citadel of Candlekeep houses the finest and most comprehensive collection of writings on the face of Faerun. It is an imposing fortress, kept in strict isolation from the intrigues that occasionally plague the rest of the Forgotten Realms. It is secluded, highly regimented, and it is home. Within these hallowed halls of knowledge, your story begins. You have spent most of your 20 years of life within this keep's austere walls, under the tutelage of the sage Gorion. Acting as your father, he has raised you on 1,000 tales of heroes and monsters, lovers and infidels, battles and tragedies. However, one story was always left untold, that of your true heritage. You have been told that you are an orphan, but your past is largely unknown. Lately, Gorion has been growing distant from you, as if some grave matter weighs heavily on his heart. You have asked about his concerns as gently as possible, but your queries have been in vain. Your sole comfort is the knowledge that he is a wise man, and you know he will tell you when the time is right. Nonetheless, his silence is troubling, and you cannot help but feel that something is terribly wrong. Today, Gorion has appeared more agitated than ever, and now he has uncharacteristically interrupted your chores in the middle of the day, imparting hurried instructions for you to equip yourself for travel. He has handed you what gold he can spare, but given no clue as to why. Nevertheless, you now stand before the Candlekeep Inn, ready to purchase what you need for an unplanned and unexpected journey.
Yes. Well, basically the story is like this. I was raised, or our character was raised in Candlekeep Inn. No, in Candlekeep, which has an inn, which is a large library. And it looks like a large castle. It's well protected. It's a large library and a university just south of the city of Baldur's Gate. And in the vicinity of Baldur's Gate, at the moment, there are a lot of bandits and there is an iron shortage. So, which will make this region all the more interesting. So, let's play. Find Gorion, journal updated. Gorion, my foster father. Let's see it here. Gorion, my foster father, has informed me that we must immediately leave Candlekeep and set out on a journey. He's given me some gold and I must purchase supplies for the road, including weapons and armor. Okay. We can zoom out with the mouse button and zoom in, mouse button again. And as you can see, the age of the game does show here. A lot of pixels. We zoom out, it looks a little bit better. This is a new feature. The original game you couldn't do this. Let's see at our inventory. Here we are. We have some money. We have a quarterstaff. Here we can see armor class. This is our armor class. The lower the better. We are now at armor class 4. Your starting class is 10. We have -4 because we got a great dexterity. And we already got a 2 bonus of 2. So 10 minus 6 is 4. We got 14 hit points, class hit points plus 10, bonus hit points per level is plus 4, because we got a high constitution. Base, I think it was 20. Strength modification -2, proficiencies is plus 2. Strength is 18. Yeah, we don't have a... This is basically 20. This will become higher if we equip a longsword as a weapon. And the damage we can do is 6 to 11. Quarterstaff is die 6. Minimum of 1 to 6 damage. And we got a +5 damage bonus because of our strength. So, not very impressive, but we're just level 1. And you can see here, these are more stats. Genzai, level 1, experience 0, max level 2000. So the moment we, if you've never played a role-playing game, the moment we have 2000 experience points, we level up and we will become a better fighter. These are our saving throws against paralysis, poison, death. 14. Let's have 1, 16, 15, 17, 17. Which is decent. It will become better over time. You will see the same weight allowance, how much stuff we can carry basically, and we can carry a lot of stuff. Geography, well, combat stats, abilities, information. Yes, all right. Well, we're in front of Candlekeep Inn. We will save the game. Oh yeah, that's Q. Most games I play now it's F5, so push F5, but then I will use fist. Quarterstaff. Use item. Yeah, you have some items like potions, tutor. Well, and we will go inside. Firebeat elven hair. Well, sounds like an elf. Winthrop, the owner.
My hotel's as clean as an elven arse.
Well, hello there, young one. Come to visit your old pal Winthrop. Have ye? Well, don't forget the 10,000 gold piece book entrance fee as per Candlekeep's custom, don't you know? You always were the big kidder, Winthrop. That gets busy, funnier very nearly every time I hear it. Well, perhaps not quite so often. Just having a bit of fun with you, my friend. The monks may be walking about with poles in their nethers, but you know you are always welcome here in my sight. Ryan did well by you? He did. So, is there anything I can do for you? Some drinks, a room to sleep, or anything to buy? Sure, what do you have? Buy and sell, drinks. What kind of weapons does he have? A longsword. Ninjato. Yeah. Let's buy some arrows. And I think... well, we can't equip armor, but let's equip... this is my main hand. Equip the longsword. As you can see, our Thaco, which was 20, now decreased to 17. So we are now better able to hit enemies, and we can do more damage. And if I equip Ninjato, ooh, yeah. So at this point, it's better to remain equipped with the sword, solely with the sword. Alright, we lost some money. Well, we will use that later. Now let's...
no time to chit-chat.
Set up the heat, young one. You'll need a good fire to warm the chill stares of those monks. Most inhospitable they are. Isn't that so lovely? Yes, darling, they are most standoffish. They lead a somewhat cloistered life here, so they are unaccustomed to many visitors. You are perhaps a bit colorful compared to what they are used to. Colorful? Dear, perhaps we should dress a little bit more plainly to fit in. It's worth a try, my dear, though our clothes may only be half of it. They certainly couldn't react any worse than they have. I thank you for the suggestion, Bart, and for putting it tactfully. Good eve to you. Well. Can we get this? Nope. We can force it. Yeah. You successfully force the lock open. Yeah. Higher our strength, the better chance we have of forcing a lock open. We got some extra money and 2 spells.
Very well.
Oh, some money. He won't mind. It's also locked. A necklace. Let's see if we can force it open. We have successfully forced the lock open. Money, a potion of clarity. Let's see what that can do. This potion will maintain clarity in order from encroaching chaos and insanity. And what does it do? Prevents feeble mind, confusing, fear, and charm. Yeah. Alright, let's equip it. We can use that before a fight or during a fight. And it will help against enemies who use spells like that. Also locked. Oh, can we do it again? No, it's too strong for me. Oh, I try to force that lock. He won't be happy. And that character won't be happy as well. So we did some stealing. And let's talk to Mr. Elvenhair.
Very well. So hard to find decent folk nowadays.
Ah yes, I'm back within the hallowed halls of Candlekeep. With this iron crisis upon us, the trip from Baragast was more hazardous than I care to relate. You're Gorian's ward, aren't you? My, you have come into your own. I would permit an old man jealous of youth to say so. I left an identify scroll with the theft thrill in the inner grounds. You should be done examine it by now. If you could fetch it for me, I'd be grateful. Firebear, Beat, Elvenhair, an old mage who makes the occasional visit here from Baragast has left an identifiable scroll with theft rail in the inner grounds. I swear without me to run its endless errands, this keep would crumble into the very dust from which it sprang. Yeah, basically, you will have a lot of fetch quests in the beginning. And we'll do that at a later time.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. Hey, have you seen my copy of The Hero's History of Halrua anywhere? You know how I can't stand the constant shuffling of frenetic feet up in the library. So I thought I'd get a bit of fresh air, just ease of here, and oh, I hate being so absent-minded. Please, if you find it, I really do need it back. Lydia's book. Dear absent-minded, Flydia has lost another of her books, The History of Halrua, this time. Last time she was at Candlekeep, she lost an entire 4-volume set in the hay we keep for cows. Let's see at the map. Priest quarters, Oma, storehouse, clinic, bunkhouse, barracks, and Candlekeep, which, sad to say, we won't be visiting yet, at least not now. Priest quarters. Oh, also great tip, save a lot. Anytime you go into a room, go into a fight, or there will be a change of situation, save.
Hello.
Shank. Oh, goody goody, I've gone and found you first. You're the ward of Gorai, no doubt. I do not recognize you. Who are you and what are you doing here? Who am I is unimportant, but who you are is very much so. I apologize for this dirty bit of business, but I must see your death. A pity, I know, but it would seem your head is worth an acceptable amount to me. I kill you myself, and I need not share credit with anyone. Oh. My first fight, and I didn't have to do anything.
Of course.
Is there anything else here? Let's use stab. Yeah. Locked. Dagger. Sell that. Well, not for much money, but some coins. A warhammer. All right. Save again. Who's that?
Hmm?
Bard, you cut yourself above the brow. There. What's wrong, child? Something in your eyes tells me that something is very wrong indeed. It's nothing, Barda. One of the cats didn't like me petting it. I'm alright, really. Yes, well, get what you need from the inn then, for Gorion is desperate for you to be off. Got a nifty 20 XP, and that's my first XP of the game. I think for this type of character, in D&D, next level is at level 2000, and every time I level up, you will need to level up an extra 1000 XP for the next level. So at level 1, to become level 2, I need 2000 experience points. To become level 2, I need 5000 experience points. 9000. Am I correct? No. Yeah, we will see. As soon as we level up in level 2, we're gonna see how much XP is needed to become level 3. But that will take a while.
Fine. What do you need?
Lydia left one of her books in here again. It's in the hay there, beside the cow. If you could run it over to her and then come back, I've got some plans for you. Okay. That. History of Halrua. Yeah, you can read the books. Did I pick it up? A bit hazy in my old days. Oh, there she is.
Hello there.
My book! Oh, you remind me of Gorion when you grin like that. Raising you has been hard on him, I know, but he says it's a tale of love, a toil of love, a toil of destiny even. He must be a very special child indeed. Draws such praise from a man of a silent nature. Here, take this little gem of mine. Maybe Winthrop will give you a little something for it. Return to game. What did we get? A Lynx Eye gem. Yeah, we can sell that. Did we get any XP? Journal updated. Let's see. Yeah, a nifty 50 XP. Okay, we're gonna visit the farmer again, and after that, I think we're gonna close the first or end the first session.
What do you need?
Reppin', nice day, ain't it? Too bad Nessa here ain't enjoying it though. Her being sick and all. I need to get her one of them potions of antidote of Hull. She stayed up drinking last night and got hauled out of bed to man the gate early this morning. So I bet he's got a few of them lying around somewhere. Okay, I need to speak to one of the guards. We're gonna save the game and do a quick save. We're gonna do a quick save. Mostly if you cannot save at this time, it's because Either you're being attacked or some other characters trying to talk to you. And we're going to save for real. New save. You can see all the quick saves here. Let's play through. Save. Well, hope you enjoyed this introduction into the wonderful world of Baldur's Gate. Hit the like and subscribe button if you like this type of content. And I will see you in the next video.